So in this episode, I talked to Epic Kate, who's a YouTuber, vlogger, and podcast host. And it's really lovely having that moment just to talk about being a creative, being in that creative flow, not comparing yourself to others, and the process of being on YouTube and how video is also an art form. So with that, let's roll the intro. Welcome to the Red and Yellow Make Ginger podcast. My name's Chris. I'm going to leave the name extemporary art, and I am here with Epic Kate. So you may have seen quite a few of our collaborations through the YouTube, but if you're new here, welcome. And so first, I just wanted to say congratulations on the new arrival, because we've been having a bit of back and forth, but that kind of leads into my first intrigue is how are you finding time for the creativity at the moment with the new family and newborn?
At this point, I've really left a lot of things behind. Thanks for having me on, by the way. I'll say that first.
Yes, I've got the expert podcaster here.
It's not about being an expert. It's just about getting used to talking to people and just not overthinking it. But I've let a lot of things go, including the state of my house. At this point, I vlog when I feel like I need to, like the kids asleep, my other kids are playing, and I'm like, I'm lonely, I want to talk to somebody, and I'll just whip out my footage that I've compiled, and I'll just set my computer up right like it is right now, and I'll just blah.
Yeah, it's interesting how you said it's about connection and how you feel like you're less alone through connecting to the world through community, because that's what your channel's all about, is the community side of things. So that's really good to see, and you've helped me a lot as well, being more myself and more real on these things. A lot of people may have not seen a lot of your videos around the junk journals and the artist cards, which I really wanted to get into because I've never heard of them, and I think it seems like this really cool thing around community, around how there's a whole collector's item going on, and how you had that you had someone send you something reasonably recently, didn't you, a few months ago?
I have no idea. Sorry.
That probably seems like a long time ago now, since
yeah, so long ago. Like when something is up,
life.
Forget about it. But I just brought down off of my bookshelf just a little small collection of some of my junk journals.
That's cool.
Because I wanted to show there's so much freedom in it. Like that's something that's so awesome about junk journaling, is that it can be as messy and as low budget and as accessible as you want it to be. In the community, there's like gatekeeping in all the communities, aren't there, of like, this is the right way to do it. But
that's
like,
what I try and get away from is so many artists or junk journalers or scrapbookers go, well, I must not do it because otherwise I'll ruin the blank page, or I'm not doing it the way it should be done.
Yeah, like people will sell these super expensive junk journaling kits, and people think, oh, they have to be these heirloom, actual antiques. They actually have to be these works of art. But like, this is one that is pretty darn stinking cool. Somebody helped me to put this leather on. That was the back of a car sample, like for upholstering a car. So, but this is the soft side on the back of it, and so I got help to glue it on. But
yeah, for anyone listening, we will be putting, you've probably seen them right now across the screen, but yeah, these are very kind of like scrapbooking then, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean,
is there like a different emphasis on the junk journaling versus scrapbooking, or?
Yeah, like
That's really cool.
This is a really special page here, and I'll describe it a bit. There's some really beautiful black and white and sepia images of like an old intricate church and a beautiful tree with different phrases that stuck out to me. There are moments when we catch a glimpse of God, and there were thoughts that my favorite uncle wrote as he was dying, and just the reflections and prayers, and it was just so meaningful. And another kind of cool thing is on the back of it is the same things translated into French so that I could share this with people in France when I was traveling around there. Yeah.
So do you find when you're going through it, you get transported back to that place when you're looking through the images, you remember your time in France, or you can connect to that time with those you've lost? Or
I don't really do that much. I mean, yeah, when I have an excuse to show it to people and I'm like, you want to see my books? And I'm just, being like a little kid showing off my toys.
I'll definitely be having a look when I come visit, when I can actually afford to come over.
But
I love looking at sketchbooks.
Totally, I love looking at people's sketchbooks too. But it's really more of a in the moment thing, like than spending much time looking back. Like I have scribbled down poems and thoughts, and I just, once it's done, I hardly ever look at it again. But like, this is something that anybody can do. I am holding up a very large magazine. I literally just started gluing inside the magazine, and like on this particular page that fell open, there's some painted papers that I ripped into pieces and just glued across just as splashes of color, and incorporated some of the prettiness of the page that was already there, and just
I love doing that.
glued other interesting stuff over the boring bits.
Yes. And do you still have you found any time during this particularly busy time in your life to do more of that junk journaling, or have you found that's taking more for like a backseat while you're being in family mode? And
Yeah, I have different modes, like, oh, I'm gonna junk journal for a few months now. Oh, I'm gonna sew for a few months now. I'm gonna binge Netflix
I get
for
that.
like I'm gonna do artist trading cards for some time now. And the thing that I always go back to is YouTube. That's something that I don't take months off from. That's something that I upload to every week. It's a part of me. Yeah. Would you like to see my baby?
Yeah, I'm sure if you're happy to show on screen, we've shown it on your channel. So
I'm not
very cute baby.
I'm not exploiting my kids for whatever. Like, I will only show the good stuff, the happy sides. He's calm right now, but I think he would be a little happier to be held.
Hey. You probably just know what's going on. It's a moving image.
So I guess this will be audio and video.
Yes, this would mainly be audio and video on the YouTube, and I think we might even get on Spotify possibly, so there might be that as well.
But for all you Spotify and not video people, just imagine that somebody's holding up the most beautiful and perfect baby that's ever babied.
So if you are pacing something right now, you may want to stop for a brief second just to get some inspiration from this very cute human on screen right now.
He's had such a sleepy day today.
Oh, he's a lot calmer than what you were saying.
Sorry?
You said he'd take a moment, but he's very chill and very. I completely forgotten what my next point was now.
I know. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
but that's good. Like the beauty of podcast conversation is it flows like regular.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always getting into that introduction, and then you're in the middle of it. I always find, even with my videos, the beginning and the ending are really difficult. Once I'm in the middle and I'm flowing in that flow state, I'm good. same with the art, really. It's starting, that's the problem.
Yeah. And that's what's so great about junk journaling. See me segueing back into it, is when I'm doing that or artist trading cards, I just pick something that's I take my glue, I take my scissors, I take the papers I've clipped from magazines and ads and newspapers and whatever, and I just glue down the first thing that I like. And I just keep gluing down stuff without thinking about it too much.
Yeah, same with my paintings. I will often, if I'm doing a portrait, start on the eye, but then the rest is, oh, that bit needs touching up. Okay, now I'm moving on to that bit. So I just keep following what he's doing. I'm not thinking about the overall image though necessarily, and then I have to keep stepping back and go, is it finished? No, let's carry on. And yeah, that's good. But I was going to say before the cute baby came on screen, your editing is a lot like an art and creative, and the way you bring out a story is very creative. So that's kind of the visual and audio working together, whereas the drunk journaling is more of a visual thing.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that whole aspect of finding a story. Like today, I edited a trailer for Monique. I've been editing for both of her channels for over a year now. She has Cattail Chronicles of camera and wildlife and photography adventures in Colorado.
The
And
landscape is
like,
amazing over there, and the sunsets in, I guess, some may be sunrises as well, but it's just amazing what.
yeah, you really get to just step into this other world of beautiful art, and it's so cool. And so editing this trailer is like, finding the perfect few seconds to put with that spot, and it's just puzzling. So much of editing is just puzzling it together, finding the perfect music to bring out the mood, that it's not just a video, it's a escapism. You just enjoy the art, enjoy the relationship between them, and go on the journey with them.
Yeah, I mean, the music is the bit that takes the longest, I find. And sometimes if you want to edit to the music, it means your edit can't start until you found the perfect song for that piece. And then you start editing and you go, maybe it wasn't the right song. Then you start again. So
It
yeah,
doesn't happen to me too often, but it
no,
does
not
happen
too often, but there are a
because
few moments.
I feel it out, but I'm not a perfectionist in that I'm not going to spend 17 hours on a 10-minute video. Like that's just ridiculous. It's not sustainable.
I have done
Also,
once.
I couldn't possibly I couldn't possibly get my money's like
No.
been paid so much for a video, but I'm spending that many hours. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with anything. The more you do, you speed up. I've got a lot faster at the painting, and I have to because otherwise I'll be charging a stupid amount of money for these things. Got to try to the right amount, but yeah, you do get better, and that's what they're paying you for, is getting faster at it. I think, well, it's not just that, but the creativity and the ideas and the concept and bringing in the editing sense, the story to life and creating that mood, which is what I love doing with the artwork and finding the right mood for that painting. What does this painting feel like? What does this video feel like? What does this artwork feel like?
The clients don't care how long it took. They just care about how they feel about the end product. So it's up
Yeah,
to us to make sure we are charging and that what we feel we deserve, so we don't get bitter about it.
yeah, exactly. And quite often you're telling the story and how they feel around that painting or that video, not necessarily what you've done to the video or to the painting, because otherwise, with the painting sense, all I'm selling is a blobs of paint on a bit of wood, a bit of
Yeah.
dead tree. It's not, that doesn't really sell very much, but the
Like when I,
idea behind it does.
yeah. Like when I was an actor, I was with a theater company for almost 13 years. And we would have training times twice a year, and we would perform plays for each other as part of our training. And after the play, we would sit on stage, and people from the audience would raise their hand and compliment us, and compliment the decisions of the director, and compliment the actors of their acting, talk about the play and how it impacted them. And some people loved that, some people hated it, but it was really special when people couldn't think of, oh, I really recognize that you changed your walk or your voice, when people were just impacted by the message of the play and just didn't think of the mechanics.
you find that helps with your YouTube channel, that acting background, and or is it more different because it's you on YouTube rather than your character?
Um, it's hard to say. I've always liked to be in front of people. Give me an audience. I think that's probably helped in terms of like maybe putting the story together and knowing what's gonna connect, but it feels like the actor side of me was like a different lifetime, like a past life that comes back to me in dreams. But
Yeah, I was just thinking about the acting because I was watching something else about special effects in films, and he was saying if the Mythbuster guy, Adam Salvage, for people who might know who that is, but he was saying that you got to have a backstory to what you're doing because otherwise you don't know necessarily what this needs to look like. He's going, well, this might have been battle worn by this, so therefore go put a scratch in that and put a whole backstory around this. I'll link that video if I can find it, but
yeah,
I find that's the same with creativity. You're sort of thinking, well, the light is hitting here, or this video needs to go to that place, so therefore, how can we link it? And so there's a lot of puzzle and challenge overcoming, I find.
it can become as complicated as you want. Like you can always go deeper. Like I used to make the mistake of comparing myself to the No Small creators that did things such fancy technical things, and it's like that's not my passion. My passion is not color grading and perfection. I just want to connect and have fun, and
Yeah.
I want to make myself laugh when I edit, or I want to just save these precious memories, because if I don't put these memories into a video, it's just going to stay in my phone and I'm never going to look at it again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, YouTube archives it in such a great way, and I was going to say something clever then, and it's totally gone. It's like,
Oh, sorry.
no, no, no. It's I was listening to what you say intently, and then that was it. It wasn't clever, but it's just that responding back that I really liked what you said in Dreams Are Real about the not comparing yourself to people and not to um and what you just said then around it's quite easy to look at all the high end people who've been over 10 years and had that dream of doing that and had the know-how somehow. I don't know, but for me, it's the great thing about YouTube is that human connection. Like anyone has access to it, and yes, you got a bit of the gatekeeper with the company, and you got to if you want to make money on YouTube, there's a few things you got to do. But other than that, it's if you look at their mission statement, it's amazing for giving a voice to people and giving them that opportunity to connect with other humans, and we've got
Yeah.
to be ourselves and our version of it, and trust the process, trust that we will learn and improve in whatever way we want to, not necessarily what would be improvement for those people.
Yeah. And in that process, not losing heart, like what I talked about in the group that Chris mentioned, the Dreams Are Real, it's such a cool community there. Is that the theme of the weekly chat was is love or passion enough? And I immediately thought of creating, being a YouTuber, but I think it really would apply to any creator, is when you think, oh, I deserve this because I've done this and I've done it just like this other creator. Why haven't I gone viral? Why aren't I making the money that I should be making? And that comparison and that sense of deserving really just makes so many people quit. Or maybe even like comparing skills, like I should be better, but we are
Yeah.
at different levels. And
Well, it's also comparing different styles of
yeah.
different ways to film, different ways to, and also it's our own kind of the things we get drawn towards. And it's the same with the art. If you have like one style and then you're going, well, it needs to be realistic like that, and then you go, but that's not what I can do, but I want to be able to do that, and then you start losing yourself in that process of rather than just appreciating what they can do. You can still improve your skills, but you don't necessarily have to be them. Is the point, isn't it? You don't have to be someone else. you still be
Yeah.
you and succeed.
And the more you are, the more that can connect with somebody. But people can tell if you're just trying to be Mr. Beast 2.0 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Or things that work for them, it doesn't work for. I'm trying to think of an example, but I quite like quick cuts. But then if I were to do the nice tranquil music and long cuts, it would look good, but it just wouldn't feel like me. So I'll leave that to them, because those videos are awesome.
Yeah. You've done a really great job of continuing to keep trying to find what you like and what shows your style and your personality.
Oh, it's definitely been a lot of ebbs and flows. The second year of YouTube felt quite, just trudging along. But then this year felt like a renewal, and starting this podcast, of course, is another thing, because me and Andrew were talking, and it's like, yeah, that seems like a fun idea. Don't know if I can do it, but I'm definitely, because if you saw me in 2020 when I did my first live interview on Instagram, which I keep talking about, that's how the whole YouTube thing started. You can see the body language is completely different. I'm still evolving, still got a long way to go, but yeah, 2.5 years is you can see the difference.
I've loved podcasting myself. It's been such an amazing journey of connecting with people I never dreamed I would connect with. You never know what opportunities will pop up if you're just open.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've talked to some amazing people through, like Pink Floyd, someone associated with them, and
Yeah, a guy who toured with Pink Floyd and Toto, and a bassist who has worked with literally everybody. He's friends with Dolly Parton. He was in a movie with her and Sylvester Stallone in the 80s.
yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, yeah, you couldn't have really imagined that would happen. And they're such down to earth people as well through the podcast I've watched, and
But the funny thing is, connecting with people in the entertainment industry made me realize I don't want to exclusively connect with people in the entertainment industry. Nothing against them. I had really wonderful conversations. Some were personal and meaningful than others, but I realized what I really want to do. Yes, I hear you. He wants to be in the show too. What I
very
really want
welcome.
to do is connect with people who've overcome trauma, and I want to share their encouragement and their stories, to give them a voice, to encourage other people who are stuck, and to teach to learn compassion, that other people watching can learn compassion with me,
Yeah,
because
and
we
those
can
are really
post
powerful.
so much. Sorry.
I was going to say that's really powerful, because I was just listening to one of them before coming on here, um, around queer identity and trauma there. So I'll put that link in the description as well, because there's some amazing stories, and I found other people's stories have really helped me in my own, not to do with that, but to do with other things around mental health and things. But I'm sure there's people who are listening who can identify to all the other topics your guests have been going through, because it's more common than people think it is.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you mentioned that. Like, that's been a huge part of my journey of my life. It's part of the reason why I don't spend so much time looking at my old junk journals, because they represent a time in my life when everything was so much more black and white, especially spiritually. And I've gone through such a deconstruction of belief and life and things, and it took me way too long to accept my trans brother, and to oh baby, life is hard. So yes, to what I was saying, like, we have only any of us have only been exposed to so much. So to actually be exposed to stories beyond our little bubble, then we can know how to have compassion for people, and we can, like, oh, it makes my heart feel so full, just have the stories that I've been able to share, like Tess, this wonderful trans woman, and and this guy who went through conversion therapy at Liberty University, and these things are just for
Yeah.
people who still are on the we're on the fence. Is, can I accept people, or is God going to be mad at me for accepting them? Like, you hear these stories and you're like, okay, I need to accept them. It's life or death.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around churches and I've had to leave quite a few, and then now I'm just in my spiritual path, and yeah. So it's been, because unfortunately, when people really believe that they're doing the right thing, there's a little bit of warped thinking there, and you can't really get through, especially when it's you against 30 people who all are quoting scripture at you. Yeah, it's yeah, it's difficult. After a few weeks, you think, yeah, maybe this isn't my fight, but it's something I really want to get into with the art, is to sort of highlight and celebrate the LG, always get me less right, LGBTQ community, and yeah, just show the whole spectrum of the human. Yeah, so,
And just be like, this is a safe place. You don't have to worry about coming here and being disregarded. And if anybody came to my channel and had something negative to say, delete and block.
yes, yeah, because I mean, the whole gender spectrum is areas of grey, and we should be able to be whoever we want to be. I mean, there's more complications than that, but it's I think people get onto that, you know, it's the rights and go, well, you can't be that because you're not this, and they go, no, they're just who they are, and just accept people, and yeah, it's just very frustrating.
Neither of us get a whole lot of hate on our channels, like
not much, more just like, can you have more time lapses please, or no time lapses, or nothing particularly. Yeah,
it comes with success, and that when people are very successful, there's going to be so much haters and judgment and all that stuff, but we're still kind of under the radar, and we have loving, open, compassionate hearts, and that's who we attract.
so before we go to end the podcast, we just come up to time now. What would you say to those who are wanting to put their work out there, whether it's a vlog or an artwork or anything like that, where they're being brave and putting it out into the world? What piece of advice would you give them?
I would say, when you know your why you want to do it, it's going to be so much easier. Like, who do you want to connect with? What mark do you want to leave on the world? How do you want to be remembered? And focus on that. And so that image can be bigger in your mind than all the negative doubts and fears. And I have a whole channel that's for encouraging creators. Shameless plug. And it's called YouTube.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, it's called YouTubing with Katie, and I'm taking a break from that as well in this newborn stage, but there's plenty of content there, and I will get back to it eventually. So lots of inspiration and encouragement for the mental anguish of creating.
And you've also got the Epic Kate, and you gotta get you to pronounce your surname, because
my last name is pronounced Bjergvida, but thanks to the new URLs that YouTube has rolled out, it's www.youtube.com/@epickate. So that's much easier.
Was there anything else you wanted to add before we bring this podcast to a close?
I am really thankful for the way the internet has brought friends to life. Like, I've made friends from YouTube, like from the comment section to of secret WhatsApp group and live streams with my husband, and it's something I look forward to, and people who've just enriched my life. And so don't let fear stop you from that opportunity to make those connections, and yeah, it can really enrich your life.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember how we met, whether it's through the No Small Creators group or whether we're just on the group, but I've
I
met
think
so many
most of them.
different. Yeah, it must have been, but yeah, we've both met so many different creative people through doing this, and found it's a really supportive community where it can be scary putting yourself on video for the world to see, but it's only been positive. So
Yeah,
yeah, just
like
hit that
I
leap of
was a
faith.
guest. I was a guest on Andrew's podcast before he started getting thousands of views on each video, and yeah, I was like, darn it, why couldn't that have happened when
I
when
was
I was on?
I was just in the third where he's getting the thousands of views, but he was under 1,000 subscribers when that happened, and
Yeah,
now I think he's on 10.3, I think,
that's awesome.
which is amazing. He's put in a lot of hard work and he's connecting a lot of people. So
Yeah. He's awesome to talk to, and he's just got a really natural way with people. So yeah, that's another thing. Play to your strengths. If there's something you're good at, you might not even be aware of it. You may think, oh, everybody's like that. But being able to talk to people and make them feel comfortable, that's a gift all in itself. And yeah.
yeah, I think some of it can come with practice, because I'm like a rabbit in headlights when I know a camera's rolling. I still am to a certain extent. It's got easier, but you've yeah, thinking about the logistics of start and finish, we need to get to that middle bit, then we're good. But yeah, Andrew's very natural, just talking and letting it flow, and doesn't seem to worry too much about the tangents we go on and see where we go. And yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So I'm learning from the best.
It's just about being real and enjoying the moment and
Absolutely.
yeah, not editing yourself as you talk because that's pointless.
Oh
Just
yeah, if you watch the Instagram live, I had this weird fake laugh. I don't know where that came from. It was so. I mean, I've still got a little bit of that, and I have to really sort of just be me. But yeah, watching it back is a little bit cringe, but it's still a nice memory because the interview was very natural and good, and yeah,
you got this.
yeah, looking forward to this journey, and yeah, life's getting busier.
Yeah. But it's been really fun to talk, and I'm really honored to be a guest.
Yeah,
And
thank you for saying you'll come on with all your busy life and lovely family life, but busy.
yeah, well, this is awesome to have a chance to have a conversation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I know you end with hugs. I'm still figuring out my ending, but what I will say is, for those listening, keep staying creative, and I shall see you in the next episode.
Yeah. And the way I end my conversations in videos often is I give hugs, jazz hands. Why not? Bye.